used to believe economic success was about working harder, longer hours, more effort, more sacrifice. But then I noticed something uncomfortable. Some people work less, yet their money grows. Others work non-stop and stay exactly where they started. That's when I realized something most people never do. Economic success is not random, it's built on pillars. Miss one pillar and everything collapses. Ignore two and you stay stuck forever. In this video, I'll walk you through the pillars of economic success, not motivational quotes, not hype, but the structures that quietly separate those who struggle from those who build lasting wealth. And the last pillar, that's the one most people discover too late. Pillar 1, clarity over effort. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're moving in the wrong direction. I learned this the hard way. For years I was busy, constantly doing something, but my financial life didn't change. Why? Because effort without clarity is just exhaustion. Economic success begins when you know exactly what game you're playing, how money enters your life, and what outcome you're actually building toward. But clarity alone doesn't create results. In fact, clarity without the next pillar becomes frustration. Pillar 2, leverage, not labor. If your income depends entirely on your time, your freedom is capped. I had to accept a hard truth. Hard work scales linearly. Wealth does not. Economic success grows through leverage. Systems, assets, skills that multiply effort. The wealthy don't work harder. They position themselves better, but leverage without control leads to chaos. That's where most people lose everything. Pillar 3, financial control. You can't grow what you can't control. I've seen people earn more money and end up worse off than before. Why? Because income doesn't create wealth. Control does. Control over spending, debt, cash flow, decisions. Economic success requires discipline long before abundance, but discipline without patience becomes self-sabotage. Pillar 4, long-term thinking, short-term comfort is expensive. I had to stop asking, how can I make money fast? And start asking, what compounds over time? Economic success rewards patience, consistency, delayed gratification. Most people quit right before momentum appears, and momentum is useless without the right direction. Pillar 5, skill ownership. Jobs pay you for tasks, skills pay you for value. The most powerful asset I ever built was not money. It was a skill that could not be taken away. Skills create opportunity, negotiation power, income flexibility. But skills alone don't protect you if your mindset keeps pulling you backward. Pillar 6, mindset alignment. Your financial ceiling lives in your beliefs. I didn't notice it at first, but every decision I made was filtered through invisible limits. Economic success requires rewiring. How you see risk, how you see money, how you see yourself. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards, and standards collapse without structure. Pillar 7, systems over motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Systems are permanent. I stopped relying on how I felt and started relying on how things were set up. Automatic decisions, repeatable actions, clear rules. Economic success is boring by design, but systems fail if you don't protect your time. Pillar 8, time ownership. If you don't control your time, someone else does. Every financially successful person I studied protected their time aggressively. Time is the container of wealth. No time, no focus, no growth, but time without courage keeps you stuck. Pillar 9, calculated risk. Playing it safe is the riskiest strategy of all. I learned that economic success doesn't avoid risk. It manages it. Small bets, asymmetric upside, controlled downside. Fear keeps people poor longer than failure ever does. But risk without learning is gambling. Pillar 10, continuous learning. The moment you stop learning, your income starts aging. Markets change, skills expire, strategies die. Economic success requires evolution. Those who stop adapting eventually pay for it. Yet learning alone won't save you if you never execute. Pillar 11. Decisive action. Most people know what to do. Few decide to do it. Economic success rewards speed, commitment, imperfect action. Waiting for certainty is another form of procrastination, and action without identity never lasts. Pillar 12. Identity shift. You don't build wealth first. You become the person who does. The final pillar is identity. When your self-image changes, decisions change, habits change, results follow. Economic success isn't something you chase. It's something you align with. And once that alignment happens, everything accelerates. Pillar 13. Cash flow. First, profit is theory. Cash flow is reality. I used to focus on how much I earned. That was a mistake. Economic success begins when money moves consistently, not occasionally. Cash flow keeps you alive. Profit just looks good on paper. But cash flow without reserves turns one bad month into a disaster. Pillar 14. Financial buffering. One emergency shouldn't destroy your entire plan. Most people aren't broke, they're fragile. Economic success requires buffers, emergency funds, time buffers, margin for mistakes. Stability creates confidence. Confidence creates better decisions, but safety without ambition quietly kills growth. Pillar 15. Strategic ambition. Small goals create small lives. I stopped asking what felt realistic and started asking what felt aligned. Economic success demands ambition, but not chaos. Big vision, small precise steps, and ambition without focus scatters energy. Pillar 16. Focus economy. Distraction is the new poverty. I realized my biggest leak wasn't money, it was attention. Economic success flows where focus goes. One main goal, one primary income driver, one direction. But focus alone doesn't protect you from bad influences. Pillar 17. Environment design. Your environment decides your future before you do. People, content, routines, they all shape financial behavior silently. Economic success often begins by changing who and what surrounds you. But environment won't save you if you avoid responsibility. Pillar 18. Radical ownership. Blame is expensive. The moment I took full responsibility for every result in my life, everything changed. Economic success requires radical ownership. No excuses, no victims, no waiting for permission. Yet ownership without standards leads to burnout. Pillar 19. Personal standards. Your standards determine your income. What you tolerate financially, emotionally, and professionally sets your baseline. Economic success rises when standards rise, but standards collapse without consistency. Pillar 20. Consistency over intensity. Intensity impresses, consistency transforms. I stopped trying to change everything at once and focused on repeating the right actions. Economic success is built quietly, daily. But repetition without measurement hides failure. Pillar 21. Measurement and feedback. What you don't measure, you can't improve. Income, expenses, time, return on effort. Economic success is data-driven, not emotional. But data is useless without correction. Pillar 22. Course correction. Stubbornness is not discipline. The ability to adjust is what keeps people profitable long-term. Economic success favors flexibility over ego, but flexibility without conviction becomes drifting. Pillar 23. Conviction doubt delays everything. Once I committed fully to my path, decisions became faster and distractions weaker. Economic success accelerates when conviction replaces hesitation. But conviction fades without vision. Pillar 24. Clear vision. If you don't know where you're going, any income feels meaningless. Vision gives money a job. Economic success is not just accumulation, it's direction. And direction collapses without resilience. Pillar 25. Emotional resilience. Money exposes emotions. Fear, greed, impatience. Economic success requires emotional control under pressure. Those who master themselves outlast everyone else. But resilience without purpose becomes survival mode. Pillar 26. Purpose-driven wealth. Money without purpose never feels like enough. When wealth serves something bigger, discipline becomes natural. Economic success lasts when it's tied to meaning. And this brings us back to the first pillar: clarity. Clarity, structure, identity. These pillars don't work alone. They work together. Miss one and progress slows. Build them all and momentum becomes inevitable. If you want to learn about credit cards or discover millionaire habits, please check the videos that appear at the side of the screen. If this video gave you language for things you always felt but couldn't explain, then stay here. Subscribe for strategies, systems, and frameworks that build real economic success, not hype. Because money doesn't reward luck. It rewards those who build strong foundations.